Joining me on Impact Catalyst today is Dave Sillman, who's an organizer with Sierra Club, and we're talking about Ready for 100% Pinellas, which is an effort tagged to a petition that you're working to get ready to take to our local government. So welcome.
Thank you.
Let's just jump right in. So talk about what the initiative is and why you got involved with it.
Sure, happy to. So the Ready for 100% initiative is a Sierra Club effort that started originally in 2015 to get municipalities, cities initially, to pass a resolution and formally commit to transition to 100% clean energy by a date certain. And generally, it breaks out into a couple of different goals. For municipal operations first, which is an easier goal, and then community-wide, usually after that. What's been most common is a goal of 2035 for municipal operations to be run completely on 100% renewables, and community-wide by 2050. And the growth of the initiative has really been impressive. It started originally in 2015, and just in a few short years, they recently passed the milestone of having 100 million Americans living in a municipality that has made this commitment. There's over 160 cities now, and it's actually expanding to counties and states now. I believe there's 10 counties and 7 states that have made these commitments already. So the momentum is growing. Of course, it started out as smaller cities, but not anymore. Now it's Atlanta, Cincinnati, San Diego, Orlando, many, many cities, and the momentum only grows.
That's great. It's a big number, 100 million. When you dig into the logistics of what the pledge will take to really activate and to achieve the goal, what are the main hurdles that municipalities have to overcome to make this happen? What are the main sort of infrastructure changes they have to make?
Well, the first part is planning. This is the proverbial elephant that we're going to eat one bite at a time, and this is a brave new frontier. So planning is the first thing, and a lot of municipalities spend the better part of the first year after its commitment really sussing out plans. In its simplest form, it's really an exercise in efficiency, energy efficiency. That's the low-hanging fruit. LED lighting, weatherizing buildings, that sort of thing. And then, especially down here, deploying clean energy, deploying solar on municipal buildings. There's new community solar programs being rolled out by Duke and FPL. Those are ways that are going to make it a lot easier for some of these cities to make these commitments. They can procure solar energy through their utilities. And then there's myriad steps in between. There's creative finance tools to help fund some of these municipal investments that need to be made. Switching fleets, automobile fleets to electric vehicles. Pumping up the charging infrastructure, things like that.
And when you talk about 350, 100 million so in the country and growing, so we're looking at about 1/3 of the way there. What are the major reasons? Is it mostly just lack of awareness or lack of getting it into a place where it can get a referendum or get signed or get the appropriate support? Or have you actually had folks that have dug into it and said no? What's sort of the biggest barrier to getting the rest of the country on board?
Well, I think the biggest barrier is educating folks that this is possible. I don't think the general public, and that includes many elected officials, simply don't know that we actually have all the tools we need to do this in hand now. It'll take a decade, maybe 2, but if we, as a technical matter, we can accomplish this within 15 to 20 years in most places, and that's something that people don't understand. Of course, there's a lot of misinformation about the depth and the breadth of the climate threats we face, and you have to overcome that first of all. Then there are arguments about, well, it's too expensive to do these sorts of things, and solar is too expensive. Well, unbeknownst to a lot of people, the cost of solar and the cost of wind has fallen precipitously over the last decade. I mean, dramatically. And now solar and wind are the cheapest forms of electricity. They're cheaper even than natural gas, unsubsidized. So it's really a matter of educating people that these things are possible and reinforcing that, boy, it's necessary, especially here in Florida. These threats are real. Every day, week, month, there are more devastating reports coming out from not only the scientific community, but the business community. Oh my gosh, yesterday, there was a really important study released by the federal government. It was by the Commodities Exchange Commission, who issued a dire warning that we have to address climate change for the risks it poses to financial markets. And this conservative group was like clamoring for a carbon tax immediately and bold action. And so, awareness is growing as we've seen and I think felt over these last few years. But we still have more public education to do. That this A, needs to be done, and B, can be done. And then there's really the cherry on top, which is my favorite part of this whole subject, which is that the transition to 100% clean energy society and economy is a monumental business opportunity. The transition globally is estimated to be a $10 trillion economic opportunity. We have to retool everything. We have a big job to do. And business opportunities, investment opportunities abound. We've heard a lot, especially in the primary presidential debates, claims of millions of jobs that will be created. And it is absolutely true. But in addition to that, we need thousands, maybe millions of entrepreneurs and small businesses and R&D and innovation not only in technology, but in business models. And it's terribly exciting. It is a huge economic opportunity.
So with this educational hurdle on the front end, just to even understand, the problem and the possibilities, if a community or when a community signs on, that education hurdle just sort of moves back a little bit. And so what is Sierra Club able to do to support that activation education, once they've agreed to move in that direction?
Well, at this point, I think probably the biggest role for the Sierra Club has been facilitating collaboration. All these cities sign on with great intention and great enthusiasm, and then it's like, okay, now what do we do? And those questions are being answered over time, and we're networking a lot of these early adopters with the new adopters, and they're working together. The blueprints are being written in collaboration, and it's really a wonderful thing to see. We have, for example, 4 cities in Pinellas that have already made this commitment. St. Pete started this in 2016. They were the very first city in Florida to pledge the transition to 100% clean energy. Thank you, Mayor Kreisman. And now they've been joined by Dunedin, Safety Harbor, and Gulfport. Largo. And all these cities have sustainability coordinators, and they meet on a regular basis to tackle these questions together. So it's really a matter of collaboration and facilitating that, and pulling out case studies to share with others, that sort of thing.
So as of now, you're working on a petition that you can take to the Pinellas County government. You're interested. Anybody who wants to connect with this initiative can, as an individual, as a business, and as an organization, come sign the petition, lend their logo, lend their business name to say we're behind this. We would love for the county to take this on. Where's the place they should go to connect?
Well, for individuals, there's a site called AddUp that is the Sierra Club site with many initiatives on it. And through there, you can search for clean energy initiatives in Florida, and you will see the Pinellas campaign pop up, and individuals can sign up there. As for organizations or businesses, they can reach out through that site as well. And those are separate petitions, which we can send as one-offs individually.
Wonderful. Dave, I appreciate you jumping on and sharing this information, and keep up the good work. And hopefully, this will connect with some of our readers and watchers and listeners, and you can have success.
Thank you, Joe, so much. It was a pleasure to be here.